Welcome to Visionaries Global Media, your number one source for podcasting entertainment. Visionaries Global Media, envisioning excellence on a global scale.
This is Banned from Ringside.
Tonight on the Banned from Ringside podcast, we have your Wrestle Kingdom 17 predictions. We're going to discuss AEW Dynamite from last year. From last night, I'm sorry. We're also going to talk about some WWE main roster rumors, that and a whole bunch more tonight on the Banned from Ringside podcast.
I mean, we can talk about Dynamite from last year if you want to. I mean, if you remember it.
I've been thinking about the year-end stuff. Ditch that 9 to 5. It's time to feel alive. Hello, Marks, and welcome to the Banned from Ringside podcast. As always, I'm your host, Bill Vagey, a.k.a. Come on, kayfabe, light my fire. And sitting directly across from me, we have Jason Cornelius Bell. What's going on, JCB?
That was all right, shit. I was about to say, that sounds like my type of music, my type of era. You know, the 70s is a beautiful fucking time, man. Goddamn shit. I miss that shit. Probably is still born in the wrong era because I really think as a former gamer, if I was born in this generation, that would probably be my lifestyle and my occupation. I would just game my monkey ass off until my fucking fingers fell off. And on that lovely note, I'll ask the congregation to bow their heads as I read from the latest edition of the Banned from Ringside podcast, volume 288, chapter 3, verse 14, and the good smart saith, hashtag boo the heels, it's all good, baby. Listen, share, subscribe, repeat the holy trinity of BFR. I hope everybody had a happy holiday season. New Year's right around the corner. We're going to squeeze in a little wrestling and talk a little shit on the meantime.
I would think that thinking about what age you would have to be born in to enjoy your life more, I would think that the further and further you get away from the middle passage would probably be best for you, right?
Yeah, probably.
Anytime in the last 150 years, but really it just keeps getting better and better. I mean,
you got to start someplace.
Theoretically, anyway. So Zach is going to be joining us here pretty soon. We are coming at you from my back deck in beautiful St. Charles, Missouri. It was less than 0 degrees out, less than 7 days ago.
Right.
And today I was driving around in my car, and it was 67 degrees. It is a gorgeous, feels like a spring night out here. Good friend of the show, Kevin Hamilton, is sitting in. He is not going to be talking, but he's just going to be listening. It was his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Hamilton. We are doing 99 shots, and he's just going to hang out, and then he's going to hang out later after we're done, too. We got another buddy coming over. Zach Pullman will be joining us here in not too long. Until then, we're not going to talk about any of the real stuff. But
wow.
I would also like to say thank you to those who listened to the last couple of weeks. I know that the sound quality was not ideal. We did the best with what we could. It was shit weather here in St. Louis. So I listened back to some of it just to see how terrible it was.
Second time around wasn't bad.
Yeah, it's just not
It's
ideal.
Zoom.
It's so much better to look you in the face and yell at you than it is to do it via Zoom. You know what I mean?
I'm going to take that as the compliment that it's meant to be, and I'll just say that, Zoom is what it is. So, I mean, there's
Also,
just nothing you can do about that.
I can't smoke your weed through Zoom, though, either.
That sucks to be you on certain occasions, but, you have the home court advantage. So, I mean, there's certain times where, I should have the advantage, and the last couple weeks were my advantage. I got to set it my ass at home and smoke my weed.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna try to make that work better. Without further ado, let's get to that 3 count.
1, 2, 3.
All right, JCB, kick it off.
Well, obviously, this week on WWE programming, Friday night we had a regular SmackDown. Then on Monday night you had a best of show, which not necessarily the worst thing in the world. It was kind of cool. I didn't watch it all, but there was times where I did flip in between Monday Night Football and Monday Night Raw just to see what they were showing. A nice little trip down memory lane if you are a big WWE guy. This was probably a quip show of your choosing, but there was a couple of things outside of the ring that I wanted to talk about. One of the big ones that I wanted to talk about, and I saw this, I guess it was a couple of days ago, either Monday or Tuesday, is the rumored WWE WrestleMania card for the last two nights, or nights 1 and 2. The main events have come out. Like I said, all rumors. Take this as speculation, a huge grain of salt. Take it for what it is. Now, the rumor is for night 1, you would have at somehow, some way they are going to split the titles.
Hold on a second. Don't tell me. Can I guess?
Yeah.
Is anybody involved in both main events?
No,
So it's 4 different people.
It is going to be 4 different people the way they want it, and I'll give you The Rock, obviously, as one of the 4.
I'll say Cody, Seth, Rock, Reigns. That's my guess.
If The Rock comes in, and I have to make sure I remember this correctly, Drew McIntyre is in play for this as well. I thought it was going to be Rock, Reigns, night 2 for the Universal title, or for the Universal
Reigns.
title,
Not the old Montreal Expos center fielder. Not that Rock Reigns.
Not that Rock Reigns. And then night 1, if I'm not mistaken, it's Drew for sure versus either Seth or Cody. If Rock is in, then I believe it's Seth is the one that's out. Then it would be Drew versus Cody for the WWE Championship.
Oh.
If Rock is out, they'll do Reigns versus Cody, Drew versus Seth.
Nah, I don't like that. I don't want to see Drew in the main event. I don't know. I'd rather see Seth versus Cody again.
Okay, but you got to think not like a fan, you got to think big business. Who is going to pack this stadium?
Logan Paul, John Cena.
John Cena, I'm thinking, is maybe another rumor. Austin Theory in play.
There's no way John Cena's not going to be at this WrestleMania. There's just no way. John Cena is making
he and Rock, I'm sure, have scheduling conflicts. Rock is the biggest one because he's rumored to be at the top of the card. They want Rock.
He's making Jumanji 3.
I don't know, motherfucker. I mean, shit. He might be making Black Adam 2 for all I know. I mean, I don't give a shit.
I heard he wasn't doing that. I heard he was all pissed off that they were.
I haven't even seen the damn movie. Okay,
it's supposed to be really bad.
Supposedly, it's either really bad or it's really good, depending on which side of the fence you are. As far as I'm concerned, that's all I need to know. I'll wait my turn until it comes on straight up HBO, and then I'll watch it at that point. I guess here's my point. Cody has got to be in this in some form or fashion, because I'm assuming if he's not at the Rumble, he's going to be at WrestleMania. Now, that being said, for him to be at this top of the card, I would have to assume he wins the Rumble, unless there's some sort of chicanery, which there is, because in this scenario, we're talking about 2 separate championships. So somewhere in between the Rumble and WrestleMania, they're going to split the titles. Now
I don't necessarily buy that either, because
you coughed up Money in the Bank. So now how do you do it?
Hasn't Roman Reigns, what's the point of him being the double champion, being the undisputed champion for this long, if he's not going to walk into WrestleMania with both belts? Just let him walk into WrestleMania with both belts. I can't believe I'm saying this, but let him walk into WrestleMania with both belts. He's earned it. He's been fantastic all year. Agree?
Oh, no, I'll agree with that. I'm just saying, just for this scenario, just playing this out, you kind of fucked it up to where if you wanted to split the titles, one of the easiest ways to do it was the Money in the Bank, and you didn't do it. You just said, fuck it. We threw it away, and that's why I was kind of mad about that. You just don't throw it away. That is ace in the hole.
I see what you're saying, yes.
That's an ace in the hole. You keep that joker in the chamber for as long as humanly possible. You don't throw it away for Seth Rollins and then explain it away because, it's the bloodline. They're always going to be around.
What's really interesting is what is going to happen with the bloodline. And let me bring it back to something that's not a rumor, something that's happening right now.
Actually tangible.
Which is this John Cena match that's happening tomorrow night, Friday night on free TV on Fox. So we have John Cena and
Joe Boy,
my man Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns, who is, probably has only wrestled. I think MJF's wrestled 7 matches this year. Do you think Roman Reigns has wrestled more or less? I guess he's wrestled more. Yeah.
More.
Okay. All right. So he's probably wrestled 10 matches this year?
Safe guess.
Okay. So Do you think that they are going to use this as a one-off for John Cena, or are they going to use it as a springboard for a John Cena WrestleMania match? Like, is Austin Theory going to come out and fuck some shit up? Does John Cena have the time? I figure if they're going to do it at any time, they have to do it when it's in L.A., right?
Yeah, I mean, if Cena's movie schedule, and God knows I don't know that motherfucker, but let's just say for the sake of argument, he is doing a movie. If
he could be doing voiceover for Honda or
okay,
whatever he does
but
voiceovers for.
If it's something that he physically has to do, okay, like the Peacemaker or some shit like that, okay, I would assume the movie executives would go the route the way they did with The Rock and be like, look, we can't have you going to wrestle on a one-off at WrestleMania and getting hurt. If you sign this contract, you can't do WrestleMania. Ultimately is where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Now, can I see something? Ultimately, what's happening is the ousting of Sami Zayn. It's already been, there's breadcrumbs coming out. I expect the Bloodline to lose tomorrow night. Sami Zayn takes the pin, and that starts to splinter him off from the Bloodline. John Cena is a different animal altogether. You just saw how they just dropped him in a week ago and basically set up a match. He has to figure out his shit, and then if Austin Theory is the guy and he's still the U.S. champion, you can drop John Cena in right then, and you always said it. You can heat people up anytime. If that's the case and the theory is true, you can drop especially drop John Cena in that motherfucker. That's easy. It's John Cena.
Yeah, of course. There has been a line of thought coming out, some rumors coming about through Wade Keller, who is a good source, maybe the source except for Meltzer.
Either or.
Yeah, that they might keep the Bloodline thing going through WrestleMania. They might just keep they might ride it all the way out to SummerSlam and have the Bloodline go all the way through SummerSlam.
Okay.
Really, if we're thinking about it, we got 3 more SmackDowns before Royal Rumble, and then you got.
Isn't it okay? No, this SmackDown is before 2023, so you'd have 1, 2, 3, probably a 4th. I think the Rumble is the final week of January.
What do you think the chances are that tomorrow night we see some sort of beginning of a splintering of the Bloodline?
I would say it's 75%.
Let's say these rumors of WrestleMania are all bullshit.
Okay.
Let's say they're all bullshit.
Probably are.
Then what percentage would you think that the splintering of the Bloodline would start tomorrow night?
I would still think it's Sami Zayn.
Something's going to happen with Sami Zayn.
Yeah, because he said on, I think it was Raw or whatever, he was like, I'm Kevin Owens' only friend. And no, it's SmackDown the week before, and everybody was like, roof, roof, roof. And then I was just like, uh-oh, damn. This shit's going to happen earlier than I hoped. So that was the biggest breadcrumb. The next one, I would assume, is a loss where Kevin Owens pins Sami Zayn. So now you've reinforced the fact that not the fact that Kevin Owens has beat Sami Zayn, the guy that he doesn't even want to fuck with, but he's a threat to Roman Reigns. That's my guess.
Okay, so let me make a bold prediction here.
Please.
Something's going to happen tomorrow night with Sami Zayn, obviously. There's going to be way more eyes on this SmackDown than your normal SmackDown, because it's safe to say that since Cena has left, there's probably a bunch of 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds out there that have started watching The Peacemaker that think that John Cena's the shit, and they probably never watched wrestling at all, right? So let's just say that John Cena pops a rating, okay? So
I'm pretty sure he will.
If John Cena's going to pop a rating, he's not taking a pin.
No.
Right. Okay. Is it possible that Sami Zayn saves Roman Reigns somehow and Sami Zayn pins Kevin Owens, and it only more solidifies Sami Zayn's place in the Bloodline? because I think that Sami Zayn is going to. Here's my bold prediction: Sami Zayn pins Kevin Owens tomorrow night. I'm going to say Roman Reigns and John Cena are not involved in the pin tomorrow night. Now, this is going to be completely wrong because I'm wrong about everything, but let's just tease it out a little bit.
Okay.
I said months ago that Sami Zayn is in the Kofi Mania, Daniel Bryan. He's on that trajectory right now where he started catching fire around October, and then he's
organically getting over with things.
Right, and he's going to be undeniable by the time WrestleMania comes around.
Okay.
Is it possible that I just there's so many different ways they can go with it. There's so many different ways that they could. Is Roman going to turn on Sammy? I mean, it's going to have to be Roman turns on Sammy to make Sammy a super babyface. I don't think, despite what Wade Keller says, I don't think that that the bloodline is going to last in its current iteration through WrestleMania. I think that Sami Zayn turns babyface before WrestleMania. I also think that there's no reason to do this whole head of the table shit that they've been doing. The whole head of the table thing was inherently a shot at The Rock. Was that I'm the head of the table, but it's like, no, motherfucker, you're not the head of the table. The Rock is the head of the table, and Solo Sikoa was sent there by the elders, is what they said at Clash at the Castle, which is something I brought up a couple weeks ago, too.
No, you are sticking to that, motherfucker.
I think
we going to ride this motherfucker until we flesh it out.
I'm just saying I don't think Bloodline lasts through WrestleMania, its current iteration, and I think Sami Zayn has to be in one of the main event slots at WrestleMania, one way or another. Splitting the titles is stupid, though. They shouldn't do it.
No, I think they should do it. It's time.
Wow.
I've said that for a while. There's plenty of guys.
We're so close.
There's plenty of guys that can arguably be the other champion, quote unquote. Okay, it's not like it was where, it's top heavy Vince booking. You have guys that can legitimately be the other champion. Gunther, great, easily could be the other champion. Cody could easily be the other champion. Seth could easily be the other champion. KO could easily be the other champion.
Now we're talking.
Okay. I'm sure you were waiting for me to say that, but you get my point. It's not the way Triple H books is conducive to have two champions. The way Vince books only is around one person, and it was around, in this case, Roman Reigns. He finally got him over, and he finally found the formula that worked. God bless him for it. But Triple H is a different animal, and he books differently. This is a time to do it because you have the talent and you have the creative means to do so. The problem is, like I said, one of the big smoking guns that you threw away on Seth versus Austin Theory.
Well, let's talk about the other rumor that you brought up right before we started, which was that the Elimination Chamber this year might be Gunther defending the Intercontinental Championship in the Elimination Chamber.
Okay.
Now, if that is true, then how are they going to split the belts?
Number one, great question, because that would probably be the way you would ultimately want to do it. Number two, I think that's reinforcement of why you should do it. The Elimination Chamber is an event that you should. Bray Wyatt, to me, is one of the great Elimination Chamber examples of why you do it. He probably never been champion if it wasn't for the Elimination Chamber, and that's his claim to fame. God bless him for it. If you wanted to do it, this is the time to do it. Now, how you get Roman Reigns into the Elimination Chamber, I have no fucking clue, but you have really one chance to do it. It's probably the Elimination Chamber. There's only going to be one Royal Rumble winner, whoever that is.
I would say you got no chance. Okay.
No.
All right.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
I don't mind the Elimination Chamber being for the Intercontinental belt.
I don't care either, but
as long as it's as long as it's Gunther, because I think.
Well, yeah, I think he's going to be the champion now.
The shit.
Now, you know, if you
Ham,
get
have you seen Gunther? Oh yeah, he's the man.
Okay, now you get Sheamus. Jesus. Now that's where we're going to start, you know, having to dig a little bit and, you know, start to fill the numbers up to make this an elimination chamber of a bunch of mid-card guys. You know, Shelton Benjamin will probably be broken out of the side of the milk cart for some shit like that. But that's, again, more so to my point. This is where if you really wanted to have Roman Reigns on a part-time schedule, but then have another world champion defend the world championship in the elimination chamber, you could totally do it right then. It would be perfect and would make all the sense in the world. That's why you need 2 champions in WWE, not just one.
All right, yeah, I'm not really going to argue with that. I am excited to see where they go with Gunther overall. I think that he's the fucking man. Obviously,
okay.
I've said it many, many times.
So if he dropped this, like I said last week, if he dropped the belt to Ricochet, the IC belt to Ricochet, that's the perfect time to move him up. But then you move him up to face Roman Reigns? I don't know if he beats Roman Reigns.
No,
so, okay, so that's why you need the second title right there. Perfect example.
So let's talk about some other main roster stuff while we're here and while we're waiting for Zach to call. And
is it Dragon Lee?
That's not what I was going to talk about, but let's talk about Dragon Lee. Sure.
Well, for me, as I won't say the New Japan fan, I will say a New Japan fan. You're welcome. He was signed by WWE. I guess it was within the last couple of days after he and Jesus Christ, Dralistico won the AAA Tag Team Championships off of FTR. So just for the record, everybody, that's 2 down and 1 to go. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. After the match, Dragon Lee announced he was going to sign with WWE. Apparently, that's a done deal. Triple H has come out, co-signed on it.
After he won the tag belts?
After he won the tag belts, he announced that he signed with WWE, and he's going to WWE main roster.
Carl Anderson shit.
That's some Carl Anderson shit. I was like, damn, this shit, I say, this is some Tony Khan booking, this is some Carl Anderson shit. You motherfuckers ain't waiting for nothing. Ultimately, I guess here's where I'm going with this. He's going to start in NXT, which it is what it is. I mean, as someone that watches a ton of wrestling, I know who Dragon Lee is. I know Bill has been cross paths with him at least a couple of times where he can identify him, I would hope, in a lineup. Not that being said.
Well, not if he takes his mask off.
Okay, yeah, then we're all fucked. I guess I'm not sure where Dragon Lee fits into the whole WWE scheme of things because obviously Ray's on the way out at some point. Dom is the long-term heir apparent.
They said that shit was Sin Cara, dude. They were like, wait, Ray's never coming back. We need a new luchador. Let's do Sin Cara. Sin Cara left,
okay,
and then they brought through another Sin Cara. They were like, these.
I know we ain't putting Sin Cara and Dragon Lee in the same sentence. I know we ain't.
All I'm saying is Sin Cara was supposed to be the heir apparent to Rey Mysterio.
And Harold Meyer was supposed to be the next Michael Jordan. I get your point.
And then when they left, and then when Sin Cara, when Mystico didn't work out, they were like, well, let's just throw another Mexican underneath that mask and see if nobody knows this.
Okay.
And they threw Hunico in there, who was 4 inches taller than Mystico and quite a bit bigger. And he didn't work either.
Okay, and that's under whose reign again?
I don't know who was champion at the time.
No. Who was running the WWE at that point?
Stephanie.
Okay, whatever. My point is this:
I'm not going to give it to you.
Triple H. I know you're not. I know you're not. So I'll just take it anyway. Triple H is just different than Vince. I think we have established that in the short little time he's been in charge of creative. He's not going to set Dragon Lee up to fail. That would be stupid. God forbid if Andrade is on the teeter border of trying to jump on back over. Why would would you fuck the guy that's going to say, hey, Andrade, shit's cool over here. You should come back on over. You wouldn't do that. That's setting yourself up to fail. You're going to at least put Dragon Lee in the position to succeed. NXT's not the place that people want him to be, but a lot of people don't know who Dragon Lee is, so you gotta start him somewhere. At that point, he should succeed. He should go to the main roster, and he should succeed. I'm not saying he's gonna be world champion, but he ain't gonna be no jobber either.
Never thought I'd see the day.
Say the day for what?
Never thought I'd see the day where you were a WWE apologist, like that guy that always used to fuck with you on Twitter. Never thought I'd see it.
No. Look, there's still plenty of wrong to go wrong with WWE.
Bullshit.
Okay, I say Ronda Rousey, and I said it last week. You just weren't here for that episode. Okay, I said last week Ronda Rousey shouldn't be getting. Sasha Banks should be getting paid the Ronda Rousey money. Okay, if you want to settle a lot of this problems, a lot of the problems, the fact that Sasha Banks ain't around.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree with
and
that.
I know a lot of people want to downplay it. Oh, she's not a superstar, blah, blah, but no, she is a superstar. Just for the simple fact that you can plug her in right now into that spot where Raquel Rodriguez is. God bless you for it. She's going to get your spot, girl. Get your shine, girl. But nobody in their right mind thinks that Raquel Rodriguez is going to beat Ronda Rousey.
I almost said get that bag. But I told you, I'm done with new slang. Not going to be one of those old guys trying to... You can get away with it because you're black.
Good. Sasha Banks could get that bag, okay? And that's the problem with it. Triple H don't want to pay her that money. You're going to pay Ronda Rousey the money that she's gotten paid and the performances she's given on this second turnaround.
Why are you yelling at me about Sasha Banks?
I'm just making my point. The second turnaround for Ronda Rousey has been hot garbage, and she's getting the bag for it.
Well, she's better.
She's better than who?
She's better as a heel, is what I'm saying.
For the money she getting paid, she needs to be doing more. She couldn't get Liv Morgan over.
I'm not here. I don't know how Ronda Rousey or Sasha Banks got brought into this at all. I'm not talking about either of them. We weren't even talking about the women.
Getting that money. Okay, and I said you weren't here last week. You said get in the bag.
No, I didn't. I said I'm not
going to say get in the bag. And I said that was on the Ronda Rousey train.
Listen,
I said she shouldn't get paid the way she's getting paid.
Last week, I was meeting my buddy out, and I had to leave early. So, obviously, the most important thing to me was just to run down John Cena for about 6 or 7 minutes.
And now he's coming back. He's getting ready to pop a rain, and then he's going to have a WrestleMania match.
Dude, Tinder Mahal called me today. He's like, man, you were rough on Cena. I was like, he's fine. He doesn't need me.
About to say, he is not paying Bill Becky any mind. Zero.
No, we had a nice little conversation, Tender and I. What I was going to talk about, I was going to run down somebody else. If it's okay with you guys.
Sure. It's your podcast.
Well, I was going to say I watched all of SmackDown, and
Ditto.
I thought the Sami Zayn promo to begin the show was really good, and then we had Hit Row versus the Usos. I'm not sure how Hit Row ended up with the title shot, but they did.
They won a match, dude.
Yeah, I know. I just want to say something about Top Dollar, and maybe this is just. This is just.
We might as well just put him on. Just start. Can we get the engraver over here for the list, please? You can just go ahead and start.
No, I don't want him to confine me.
What?
No. That's not what I'm saying.
Unbelievable.
Listen, when he tried doing the suicide dive over the top rope and just fucked it up in the botch of all botches.
2 weeks ago.
One of the funniest botches. I mean, literally one of the funniest botches of all time. Still not the botch of the year, but one of the funniest botches of all time. We don't have botch of the year as one of the beavers, but maybe we should.
I was about to say, that ain't botch of the year, and it's probably very much recency bias.
Maybe that should be one of the beavers, and we'll have a programming, though, about the beavers later. Last week, I felt really bad for him after that botch because I know he was catching a lot of shit on Twitter, and he came out and he tried to defend himself, and he posted a video of him doing the
same move
on the indies, and he did it like he looked like a fucking swan. He was perfect. And Then last week against the Usos, and maybe it's because the Usos are still underrated. Are they still underrated? Like, they are so fucking good. But I'm telling you, Top Dollar looked so slow and so shitty in that match that I went from feeling bad for him for just messing up that move to feeling bad for him because he's just not as good as he thinks he is. He's really bad. And I don't want anybody to lose their job, and I hope.
No, I'm not asking him to be fired by any stretch.
I want him to keep his job. I just don't want him to wrestle in any more matches or be on TV.
Okay, so that's not keeping his job.
Well, they can still pay him, I guess.
What the fuck you mean? No, that's not what happens. That's not how it works. Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe for some people that are of non-color, that's how it works. For people that color, you better get your ass out there and go get you some money.
Hey, Top Dollar.
Uh-oh.
Come find me for a job because I know some people that own restaurants around town. If you need to work Fryside or something.
God damn, you ain't shit, motherfucker. Fuck. Okay? That motherfucker had a legit injury. He tried to jump over the top rope and bit it. And now all of a sudden, you want to start making jokes about Fryside and shit. Okay, man, that shit ain't cool.
People work the Fryside.
Man, okay, now see, hey, all right. I guess... Is there anything else I need to be talking about?
I feel like we're filibustering because we're waiting for Zach, but we've been filibustering for fucking 40 minutes now. So
no, it's not been 40 minutes. See how many? I got here 40 minutes ago. We have not been recording for 40 minutes.
All right, something else you want to talk about?
Why the hatred for Drew? I wouldn't say why the hatred for Drew McIntyre. You said you didn't want Drew to be in the main event at WrestleMania. Okay, so you got the pencil. What's WrestleMania hold for Drew McIntyre if he's not going to be a part of the main event slot?
That's a great question. I would probably... I don't know. Drew and Sheamus have never fought each other at WrestleMania. What's wrong with Drew and Sheamus?
Well, as of right now, they're both baby faces.
Yeah, but Drew
Well, why is Drew going to be a turning heel at this point? I mean, what's the motivation? Because he can't beat Roman Reigns? Oh, now I'm pissed.
Well, he's been a babyface for long enough. Like, he's been a babyface for 3 years, right?
It's not like the crowd doesn't react to him. I mean, he's one of the biggest baby faces you have on WWE.
All right, let me give you the pencil, and let me tell you that USA has gotten a hold of you and said, hey, Jason, we want Drew McIntyre in a big match, but we need him to be a heel. Who do you put him against? Or no, not even that. We want Drew McIntyre to be in one of the big matches at WrestleMania. Who do you want him to be against? Is it Seth Rollins? Because they look the exact same when they're fighting against each other. They both have hairy chests. They both have long hair. They both have fucking the same color hair and dark beards, and they're the same exact height. It doesn't make any sense.
It feels like we haven't had a Seth.
It looks like Superman 3.
It feels like we haven't had a Seth Drew McIntyre match in a while.
All right, so that last call was my mom. I decided not to put her on the podcast. Now we're going to put...
Jesus, your mom on the pod? She'd have an
Two Beers, Zach Pullman calling in. What's going on, Two Beer?
Not much. It is rainy here in the Pacific Northwest. Figured I'd let you know about the weather because that's what we do when we start out. So,
God, that felt like a chop on me. If so, that was a good chop on me. But yeah, it is. Are you driving right now?
No, I'm smoking a cigarette outside of a bar.
Oh, good. So
sorry we disturbed you, boss.
Yeah. So
I'm working right now. No, but I am. I was until 30 seconds ago.
Jason and I always feel like we're working when we're doing the podcast. Obviously, you feel like that's some sort of vacation or hobby, but it's a job for us. You know what? We've been trying to filibuster till you got here. How much time do you have for the people?
Oh, the rest of the time. I got all the time the rest of the night. I can talk all night.
All right, here we go.
What'd you say? Queen slate.
Unprofessional bullshit.
Okay, so let's get to that 2 count.
1, 2.
Now you gonna put this man on the spot. Okay, this should be good.
No, I'm not gonna put Two Beer on the spot. You don't have to control the 2 count. But
I was getting ready
Two
to say.
Beer, what is the 2 count?
I'm just gonna go with recognize the pattern here.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say that the 2 count is Mia Yim.
Of course.
The 2 count is definitely AEW, and I can pull it up like the Dynamite results.
No, that's fine. That's fine. How about this? I'll let you know what happened in the first thing, and then you start off, and then you throw it to us. Okay. So in the first segment, we had Ethan Page versus Bryan Danielson in a match. Zach, go ahead.
I'm gonna assume you watched this shit, right?
Oh yeah, totally. I had an epic game night last night, but I watched it on whenever I got back. So Bill reminded me that it was Wednesday. Thank you for Friends of BFR, little plug for our Facebook group. But this was an absolutely epic Dynamite. I mean, I'm not even being like an AEW sexual here. This was a really good 2 hours of wrestling. Will you guys agree?
Yeah, I thought I loved it from start to back, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it absolutely ruled. So as far as results, let me get here. Sorry.
Well, Bryan Danielson won.
Oh, Bryan Danielson, Ethan Page. You already said that. Yeah.
Yep.
So this was like a quintessential Bryan Danielson match, right? You expect great things from Bryan Danielson, and he absolutely delivered. This is the best Ethan Page match I ever saw, and I will not give that entirely to Bryan Danielson. But he's part of it. But I will not give that entirely to him. Ethan Page delivered as well, to the point where we even got some dueling chants with Bryan Danielson and let's go Bryan, let's go Ethan. So, but it was a quintessential Bryan Danielson match because the crowd was hot, and he just gets the crowd going, man. Like he's so great with the psychology. Like I don't think that they called this match like beforehand. I feel like they called this thing in the ring. That's what Bryan excels at.
It looked like Ethan Page was calling the match in the ring,
which is great.
It's cool. I was talking to Jinder Mahal earlier today, and we talked about this match. And the thing about Bryan Danielson is that there was at one point in the match where he got and by the way, the crowd was incredible. The Colorado crowd was incredible.
Can't wait to go.
He got the crowd super worked up with the yes kicks, and then Ethan Page kind of reversed it. And Ethan Page reversed it, and the crowd came down a little bit, and you could sense the crowd wanted to come back up. And then Bryan Danielson just decided to sell like he was almost dead. It's almost like it was like the wool was getting pulled over my eyes, and I was like seeing something that I hadn't seen before, and maybe I should have seen it before as somebody who watches as much wrestling as I do. But he was like, no, I need to bring the crowd all the way down. And he brought them all the way down. And I agree.
He's like a comedian that kills their set in the middle just to see if they can bring him back to laughing.
Yeah, and I agree. It's the best Ethan Page match I've ever seen. I've been on record on here. Now, we've talked a lot of wrestling here over the years. I am on record as saying Ethan Page is a buster.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Ethan Page was really good here, though. And, I don't I never mind saying that I'm wrong. I'm wrong all the time. And now I'm an Ethan Page fan. I thought that this match was really good. I really liked Stokely Hathaway during this match, and I really liked the hat that he was wearing because he looked like one of the characters in Justified that hang out in the Black Holler that Raylan that are always they're like the middlemen for all the drug dealers and shit, but they're like hillbilly black people.
Oh,
I really liked him wearing that hat.
Oh man, yeah. I thought there was a compliment there somewhere. I'm gonna still dig for that. Neither here nor there.
I love Justified. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. Okay, there's the compliment.
There it is. I was looking for the wrestling compliment, but like I said, neither here nor there.
I just thought Stokely Hathaway looked cool in his fucking trucker hat.
It was the joke from the week before. It doesn't matter. Anyway,
I remember that joke.
Okay. Ethan Page was to me the story of the match. Obviously, we've seen Bryan Danielson do his thing, and it's not a surprise when he does it. But in this case, and we've said it before, you need another person to do the dance, okay? Ethan Page, to me, was the standout in this whole match. Bryan Danielson does what he does, but Ethan Page where he was kind of like, throwing not even throwing Bryan Danielson around, but just like jerking him off, deadlifting him off the mat. You just don't do that certain shit. And Bryan Danielson has to help.
He was jerking him off?
Jerking him off the mat, deadlifting him off the mat.
Did you say jerking him off the mat?
Well, at least you're on your job 5 minutes in. I was about to say, clock in, motherfucker. Anyway, my point is, Ethan Page was using his strength to manipulate Bryan Danielson around the ring, and I thought that was a good part of the match. The fact that he kind of, I won't say out wrestled him, but wrestled him to an extent where it didn't feel like Bryan Danielson could just tie him up into a pretzel at any given point. Kudos to Ethan Page on that too. Like I said, Ethan Page is one of those guys that I just feel like is in that gray area of AEW that could be doing more, that's just not. And here's an example of why he could be doing more. His character, take it for what it is. I ain't even going to talk about that. The in-ring shit, there's the example of why I think he could be doing more. You could give him to do more. We'll just see what happens from that point on.
All right. Up next, we had the backstage segment where Wardlow was doing a backstage interview. Samoa Joe comes up and hits him over the knee with a steel pipe. Old school style, but we'll talk more about that later. Hangman Page then has a segment backstage where he is getting checked out by the doctor. He gets real pissed off at Renee. What's her name on?
It's Renee Paquette.
Renee Paquette. Okay. I was kind of watching this, but like I was doing something with the kid. And I was like, wait.
How dare she interrupt AEW?
I know, man. I was watching Dynamite.
I'm
I was
real.
like, is
it's not even like it's Rampage or
I was
anything.
like, is Paige getting pissed off because that's Moxley's wife? But have they broached that subject on Dynamite that Renee Paquette is Moxley's wife in real life?
Yeah.
But that's not why he got pissed off.
That was like the first thing he said. He was like, "Oh, so that's why you're here? You're trying to figure out what's going on."
Oh, okay.
And that's why I was like, "Okay, that's what I'm talking about." So that wall is.
They say you can watch every James Cameron movie with the sound off, and you still know what's happening. That's how great of a director he is. That's how good AEW Dynamite is.
No, in this scenario, I think that was apropos, just because of who the interviewer was. But number two,
like we're dumbasses.
Yeah, number two. It's going to be a payoff. You just don't do that angle on TV, mention 2 weeks, mention LA, and not going to have a payoff at some point. There is going to be a match between Moxley and Adam Page, probably in 2 weeks plus, somewhere down the line, and that's where we're going to see all this actually become to a match. As much as I hammer TK, I give TK credit for this one. He's got us to the point where now in kayfabe, Adam Page is getting ready to get cleared, and then he's going to wrestle Jon Moxley.
It's pretty funny that they keep flying Hangman Page out to the Dynamite tapings just to get checked by some guy on camera.
Now,
but,
you got a concussion. You ain't supposed to be flying nowhere.
Is that true?
Yes. You ain't supposed to sleep. You ain't supposed to fly.
You're not supposed to sleep?
No.
Next up, we had the Blackpool Combat Club, which they're still called. Moxley and Claudio versus
Castiglione.
Versus
did I say it right?
Top Flight. A very fun match here. Zach, what you think?
Yeah, this thing overachieved. I mean, it was way better. Like, you saw it on paper, and you're like, oh, this could be fun. And then right off the bat, whenever Top Flight started doing their flying stuff, and they had Blackpool Combat Club outside the ring, and Moxley just caught Dante Martin and threw him into the barricade, and then
Paradigm shift.
Claudio caught the other
Darius,
flanking Darius, and just like did his shit. It was from that point on, it was just super creative, and this was just an absolutely great example of people getting over in a loss because Top Flight looked so good, and Blackpool Combat Club came over, just like they're dominant like they always are. It was fantastic.
Jace?
I agree with everything that Two Beer said. It's just, for me, it comes down to fundamentals of wrestling. I know that Claudio's the shit. Moxley's, arguably wrestler of the year, depending on who you ask. But damn, man, Top Flight's a tag team. Shit. At some point, the tag team should go over the individual makeshift singles guys. And I get who they are. I get it.
That is not where I thought you were going at all.
Outside of that, the match itself was... the match was good. If Top Flight can stay healthy, they're going to be that next tag team a year from now, somewhere down the line after the Acclaim has done their run. There's going to be a couple other tag teams. That's when Top Flight can come in. For me, I just wish that they went over. They did everything but
You
go
thought
over.
that they were going to go over
No,
the
I said,
Blackpool
what did I
Combat
say?
Club?
What did I say? I wish they would have went over.
He's heating up.
I didn't say that I wanted them to go over. I didn't say they were going to go over. I wish they did everything but. They looked great.
So I always think back to that Colt Cabana interview that I listened to with John Moxley when he was Dean Ambrose, and I remember him talking about his time in Ring of Honor. And his thing about Ring of Honor, he said this explicitly. He said the thing that always pissed me off about Ring of Honor, he's like, nobody sold. He was like, will one of you motherfuckers sell for me, please? Because he's like, I'm out there selling for everybody. He's like, that's all I do. He's like, I just sell and sell and sell.
For sure.
Which is a mark of the great ones. Like when we talk about the great ones, we talk about Flair, Austin. We talk about The Rock. Tanahashi. We talk about guys that just sell and just make it look like they are just getting shot all the time, right?
Ibushi.
And I was watching Top Flight, and I was like, these guys just don't sell. Like they are fighting a different style. And this is not me shitting on the match, because I thought the match was really fun. But they're fighting. You know how Judd Nelson in Judgment Night is like he's in a different movie than everybody else. It's like they were in two different movies. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, I'll say this.
Too obscure a reference,
Number one, the only reason I know it is because I saw it. Now, if anybody else can reference that, I'll tip my
Judgment
hat.
Night.
I'll just say this.
You're just another victim, kid.
That's funny.
I can do the whole soundtrack.
It's two different, I guess, I don't want to say generations, but schools of thought, for lack of a better term. Two Beard, you can jump in on this if you want to. Top Flight is like new school to me. You know what I'm saying? They're more worried about getting their shit in and maybe not ultimately selling. Claudio and Moxley are about the bigger picture. They want to, create this, story being told in the ring where, you sell, I sell, the crowd gets invested. We have this great match and everybody walks away. Am I wrong on this, Two Beer, or am I just waxing poetically because I'm thinking I'm right?
No, I mean, they're super talented in ring, and like you said, they will be great. But as far as like fundamentals, they've got like some stuff to learn, and you don't. Selling is probably the hardest thing to do as a wrestler. So, anybody can jump in there and they're 20 years old and be super athletic and get their shit in. It's just they'll learn it, or they won't, and they'll fizzle out. But I really think they will be.
Did you say selling's the hardest thing to learn as a wrestler?
Yeah. Kurt Angle is one of his biggest hurdles that he had to clear is because he was this Olympic wrestler and he could take guys down whenever he wanted to. Then he had to, suspend that disbelief and be like, okay, The Rock can all of a sudden take me down whenever it happens.
Whenever I meet a little kid, though, I'm like, hey, give me a high five. And the kid gives me a high five and I act like it hurts a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Selling's fucking easy.
No, it ain't that easy.
I sell little kid high fives all the time.
You're not convincing them.
Oh, I convinced your kid.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, but they're kids.
I mean, that's
You're
true.
not convincing a 37-year-old man that shit hurt.
Who's all they need to do?
I say, don't look at me, look at you. Who's 37?
Listen, we're all grown men that are watching dudes fake fight. We all know they're just pretending to be hurt. All you have to do is pretend to be hurt.
Ego is a
know.
beautiful
I
thing,
think-
baby.
I think Tanahashi could sell a high five from a kid, and I would actually believe that he was on his last leg.
That's okay, but I'm
unbelievable.
No, Kurt, I will take Kurt Angle's word for it versus anybody else as far as I'm concerned.
Listen, just a little correction on my plate. I said that Judd Nelson in Judgment Night, but I meant New Jack City. My fault. I meant Judd Nelson in New Jack City. New Jack City, Ricochet, Judgment Night. They are all iconic movies, but they all get mixed up in my brain.
I don't see how, but okay, go ahead.
Well, Ice-T's in two of them.
Okay.
And I get Ice-T mixed up with Cuba Gooding Jr., who's in there.
God damn. No wonder you can't tell the Young Bucks apart. Motherfuckers, shit. They look way too close.
I don't get them mixed up. Which one was in Radio where he was the retarded?
I was getting ready to say, Two Beer, get us on track, but you don't even know where the fuck we at.
All right, next up was Hook and a Squash. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, this was a Hook match. It was squash, but the best part about it was the Colorado crowd. Hook is super over. This was mega fun. And afterwards, we had Big Bill, Stokely Hathaway come out. And this was a very good stare down because Big Bill's looking at him, looking down his nose at him. Hook's looking up at him, and he's, not cowed in the least. Big Bill goes for a choke slam. And dude, Hook grabs him and deadlifts him, and he's about to flip him. This was very cool. This was a fun segment. And then Jungle Boy comes out for the save or whatever. But Jungle Hook, I guess, is the next thing. Jungle Hook, Jungle Book. But yeah, I don't know. I'm into it.
Can I propose a better name for them as a tag team?
Please.
Tiger Beat.
You just showed your age, man. I like Jungle Hook. I like Tiger Beat. Don't get me wrong.
They're both obviously they look like Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Jonathan Brandis, from 1993.
I was waiting for you to shit on it. As soon as Big Bill and Hook were staring each other down, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna be talking about this shit on Thursday.
Full disclosure, I was putting the baby to bed. I did not see this. This was the part that I missed a little bit. I also had to go back, so I had to make a decision today as to what go back and watch, what I wanted to go back to and watch, and everybody was talking about the Acclaimed rap, which is what I ended up going back and watching. But after the Hook segment, we had the Mogul Affiliates.
God damn, this is horrible.
Buddy. Zach, what'd you think about the Mogul Affiliates?
Is that Swerve's new group?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Swerve as a heel is better than Swerve as a face. Swerve is so good. Swerve as a heel is top guy material. I've seen it. I've seen it in multiple promotions, and by multiple, I mean two. I saw it in MLW, and I saw it in Defy. And it's phenomenal. So I'm just glad that they got there. I don't know. Hopefully he can bring up Parker Boudreaux and, want to be Post Malone.
See, you ain't
and
shit.
Bring them up because he has the ability to do it. So I'm happy that he's got a faction. I'm happy that he's a heel. I'm really looking forward to Swerve versus Keith Lee because we've been teasing it for a long time. And overall, that's that.
Jason.
Come on now. You know I'm getting ready to shit on this. Give me a fucking break. We can't even name the third guy. Okay.
They haven't said it yet.
Yeah, they've said his name. They've said his name. They have said
Swerve didn't say his name. Parker Boudreaux. You're gonna know this guy real soon, is what he said.
They didn't say his name on Wednesday. I will put money on the fact that they've said his name before. Okay, neither here nor there. That's problem number one. We don't even know who this Joker is.
He's Evan Seinfeld from Biohazard.
Okay. Wrong answer. I'm saying, you guys, the guy we don't know, Rick Ross and Parker Boudreaux is the faction for Swerve. God damn. Can you set this dude up for fucking success, for Christ's sake? He's good on his own at this point. These guys are all heaters. Okay, these Parker Boudreaux and the guy we don't name, these are heaters. Okay, they're the Shayna Baszler of mogul affiliates.
You're just another victim.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Rick Ross is there to get the casuals around. It's all about Swerve, and somehow, some way, he's gonna. If he can carry these two jokers and get them over. Swerve is early 2023 Wrestler of the Year. This is a hard ass to do.
Spoiler alert.
I think
he's not going to get them over.
I just think it shows a lot of faith in him. That's why I was positive on it.
God bless you.
I think he can do it.
What have you been drinking? Because we need to pass that shit on over.
I love when Zach's like, I'm not being an AEW sexual. He's like, this was a spectacular. And you're like, yeah, this is a good 2 hours. But, there's like ebbs and flows, and then he's like, nah, he's going to get mogul affiliates over. It's like, nah, he's not. Nah, he's not. And listen.
I mean, I'm not going to put money on it.
No, you bet not.
I would definitely.
Tara used to be over. Tara be like, you did what?
And then Wheeler Yuta comes out, and he's like, hey, guys, why are
Stop.
you guys?
Okay, see. Come on now.
What are you guys getting mad about? we're super violent at the Blackpool Combat Club. We put people down.
Okay. If Will Ute has
it should have been Daniel Garcia.
If Will Ute has some bass in his voice, I might believe it. Right then, I was just kind of like, "Oh, this is getting worse."
Hey, what's going on? How dare you?
You want some of this, old man?
Yeah, come on, old man. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I do. Yeah. I'm going to take your pure championship away. Okay.
It's a good thing that they provide catering because I think somebody stole my lunch money.
Okay, thank you. That's what we had with Wheeler Yuta. And it was totally a dichotomy of two different guys. It didn't work. Maybe I can see Swerve win the pure championship because he's such a heel. So that might be fun to watch. Outside of that, I'm not sure where the fuck this is going.
Let's move on to the good stuff. So
the good stuff.
We had actually I wanted one of the little ones. You got one of the little ones? Oh yeah. Actually, I was talking about.
Are you indulging?
Yeah, I'm about to indulge. Our friend,
just a shot. We're keeping him on track.
You didn't know this, but our friend Kevin Hamilton is here celebrating his birthday. We're gonna hang out a little bit afterwards.
Happy birthday, Ham!
He says happy birthday.
No, Ham can hear you.
Ham can hear you, but he said happy birthday. We're getting ready to do a shot here. But Zach, why don't you tell me what you thought about Death Triangle versus the Elite? Round 6.
I will tell you. So,
did I build it up too much?
No, just like you, I've watched all 6, and I'm watching it, and I was like, this is like really solid, right? So, I loved the point of differentiation, the fact that it was a Falls Count Anywhere match, and they were doing big bumps at the beginning, right? Like, I'm like legitimately worried at the beginning about their situation because I'm like, dude, these guys are putting it all out there, and it was like solid. Not always like my favorite kind of match though, right? And so I was like, I wasn't like doubting you or anything, but then they got to the ring and holy shit, it just started popping off. So they had that initial like set the tone situation where Falls Count Anywhere were doing big bumps. And then they just got to the ring and just, not even just to the ring, like they got, right before they got to the ring, they were on the ramp and Phoenix jumped off the top and then Matt Jackson did like 7 Northern Lights suplexes all the way down the ramp. And then they got to the ring and Phoenix is bouncing everywhere. At one point he clears all 3 dudes and he's like clears 2 of them in the ring and then he does a tope outside and clears Nakazawa and Kenny Omega and he stands up and then he just falls down out of exhaustion. And that is the moment where I was like, this is the best match that these guys have put on. And this has been a phenomenal series, full of phenomenal 6-man tags, just full of phenomenal television matches, and we were so spoiled. But that was the moment where I was like, this shit is absolutely next level. And I thought the finish was very creative, where they essentially like had 2 finishes happening at the same time, and it was just a matter of, which one was going to be counted first. I cannot wait for what is it, the De La Muerta? I can't remember the name of the.
God, is he going to do it again?
No,
he did this last week.
What? Go ahead, Two Beer. Muerte is death. I'll give you that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Dia de los
I don't
Muertos.
Sure. I do
Muertos.
Japanese Duolingo. I don't do Spanish Duolingo. Sorry.
Listen. This is when we were talking about. I'm going to not make fun of Zach's Spanish. 2 weeks in a row.
Look, I ain't much
2 weeks
better.
in a
Go
row.
ahead.
Not going to do it. 2 weeks in a row.
I don't remember last week, so it's like the first time.
I get it. It's really funny when you try. It's actually kind of cute.
Stop. All right, man. See, you gonna say you ain't gonna make fun of it. Now you gonna make fun of it.
All right. Here's what I'm gonna say: is that when AEW started, when this podcast started, there was Raw and there was SmackDown and there was WWE pay-per-views, and then we kind of started talking about. We would talk about ROH every once in a while. We talk about New Japan every once in a while, and then when AEW started, so we've been doing this podcast for what, 5.5 years?
288 divided by 52.
So yeah, 5.5 years. So when this podcast, so AEW started about 2.5, 3 years ago. The best case scenario that we could have thought of was that we would be getting on free television a best of 7 trios series between Pac and the Lucha Brothers versus Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Can you imagine if we would have thought 3 years ago, hey guys, 3 years from now, and now we just talk about like, okay, well, hey, there was another match this week. No, this is something, spoiled is the right word, and it's the word that Zach used, and that's exactly how we should feel, because this match, Falls Count Everywhere, is not my favorite type of match either. I've said it before many times on this, because I don't like watching guys brawl outside just because it's a lot of punch, kick, punch, kick. Not the way with these 6 motherfuckers. This shit was innovative. This shit, like you said, the Northern Light suplexes down the ramp, and then he was getting ready to do one on Pentagon, and then Phoenix came down, and he did one on both of them. Incredible match. This match got, and like Zach said, when they finally got into the ring, this shit was must see. I couldn't take my eyes off of it, man. I wasn't looking at my phone. I wasn't reading my book. I was like, what the fuck are they going to do next? The ending spot where I want to say it was Pac was doing basically a crippler crossface on, or
he had a brutalizer on.
Right, thank you.
I think it was
Rings
Nick.
of Saturn.
Oh, it was a Rings of Saturn. Okay, yeah, and then
It's the brutalizer.
yeah,
The Rings of Saturn.
okay. Rings of Saturn makes more sense to
you,
to this Gen Xer or whatever the fuck I am. But when Kenny Omega did the one-winged angel through the 2 tables from the top of the whatever, I was like, oh shit, he's gonna kill him. Oh, no, please don't do this. And then to have him do the 1, 2, 3 right before whatever.
I think it was Nick that tapped out. I can't remember.
Lonnie Jackson.
Matt.
Right before
Okay.
Lonnie
Matt.
Jackson.
No, it was Matt. You're right.
It was Lonnie Jackson, right
This
before Lonnie
motherfucker.
Jackson taps out. That was
I think it was Bo.
a truly
Bo knows tapping.
a truly clever finish and a way to get to a 7th that is actually intriguing. Jason, what did you think when you were watching it? And I agree. I agree with myself, and I agree with Zach that this was the best of the 6 that we've seen thus far.
And that was the Facebook post that I saw, and you didn't give it away.
I didn't give it away.
Which is great. And I normally don't even look, especially in scenarios like this, because somebody always gives it away, and it's not their fault. It's my fault for looking. When you said it was the best of the 6 so far, I'm just like, I'm thinking back to 5. I'm like, damn, what the fuck are they getting ready to do that was better than I've already seen? They did it. Don't get me wrong. The Kenny Omega spot on his pin, we've seen it before, but don't get me wrong. You don't get away with that shit, just easy. I mean, that's a one-wing angel coming off of feet. Everybody's got to do their job right. On the flip side, like you said, you had Matt tapping out to Pac just after Kenny Omega got the pin. It was honestly, and I'll say this, I did not think that you can continuously build better and better. 5 and 6 are the two, to me, they're the two matches that have kind of really swung this whole, best of 7 to another level. The first 4 were like the introductory level. It was like, basically we laid the ground for the next 5, 6, and obviously what 7's getting ready to be is just going to be absolutely fucking nuts.
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, because the only thing that and this is just me being the guy.
Kenny's going to be in Japan.
Exactly, and they didn't say anything about that. And they never said anything about that. That pisses me off.
Yeah, why didn't they say anything?
They don't say anything about that. Look.
What does it hurt AEW to try to turn people on to Wrestle Kingdom?
And especially if you got.
I think there's a little bit of politicking. And I think they still have the relationship, obviously. But so there's a variety of things, like kind of behind the scenes. If you look at the AAA show last night, where, like Dragon Lee pinned FTR and then immediately went to WWE simply because of and New Japan's relationship with CMLL. And I think there's just a variety of stuff. I'm not privy to it. I'm not saying that I am. I'm not saying I'm smarter than anybody, but I feel like maybe we still get Forbidden Door. Maybe we still get these crossovers, but maybe we're not going to have cross promotion.
Well, the other night when Suzuki-gun finally broke up on the road to Wrestle Kingdom Night 2, Lance Archer cuts a promo backstage afterwards that says, I've been kept in limbo too long, release the monster, I'm coming back to AEW to wreak havoc on it. So obviously it's not, the Forbidden Door only goes one way.
Right.
No, well, here's the thing is those guys that cut promos in English, and even Kevin Kelly, nobody pays attention to what they say. Kevin Kelly, I watched that show and numerous shows before that, Evil comes out, and he just analogizes evil to eating your vegetables. He's like, nobody wants it. They force it on our plate. This is the House of Torture section of the show. Sorry guys, but this shit's gonna suck. I feel like any English language stuff, they just don't give a fuck. So that was Lance Archer going into business for himself, which he should. I mean, he's underutilized, but so are a lot of people.
Okay, but, all right, and I'm sorry.
Underutilized. He's been in Japan for the World Tag League for the last 2 months.
No, and that's
another. I was
another.
saying even before that.
Yeah, and that's a different discussion for a different time. I'm just saying my only problem with it is you couldn't say, hey, the reason why we're taking 2 weeks in between match 6 and match 7 is because Kenny Omega is going over to Japan and wrestling Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom. If you're interested, you can go watch it on New Japan World. Okay.
Well, but is New Japan giving them $5,000 or whatever? I don't know. They're promoters. This is I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying it's a capitalist society. Why would you give them the free business? You're already giving them the biggest star that you have. Why would you give them even more unless there was something some give and take? Unless maybe they're getting something in return. I'm just saying it's maybe a little tit for tat. I agree with you. In the sentiment,
you got the team champions.
He just said he agrees with you.
I do agree with you in the sentiment. I'm just saying I understand why.
I agree with the
they
sentiment too. A rising tide should float all boats.
All boats.
Yeah, in a perfect world, but we are living in a far from perfect world. Is all I'm saying.
Violence is something that plagues us as a society. That's what
it's all capitalism.
That's what Reed Rothschild said.
Okay, so
get rid of it.
Okay, so God damn it, if we're going to play the capitalism card, wouldn't it make sense to say Kenny Omega is going to be on a show in the middle of the week, and you should go out and spend your 99 yen and fucking go see that shit?
Isn't 99 yen $5?
$9.99.
Okay.
It's 6 something now.
All right. All right. Let's bring it back. Who wins next week? I did like Steve. I did like brother-in-law Steve's call on Friends of BFR that Adam Cole might come back and cost the. You don't think there's going to be any shenanigans?
No.
Who do you think goes over?
Well, a ladder match. A ladder match is no rules anyway. So I mean, any shenanigans is going to be shenanigans. I don't see Adam Cole coming back. They're going to take their time with Adam Cole. If everything from what I'm reading is true, they're taking their time with Adam Cole. It's great to see him come back. It makes logical sense. I have the Elite winning because, well, I mean, shit, it just is what it is. I want him to come back healthy. I got the Elite winning because at that point, the House of Black needs to step in, and that's going to be the next challenge.
Zach, who you have?
The Elite, and same. I think House of Black should be the next challenger.
All right, let's keep it moving. We had Ty JS. What do they call her? Tay JAS? Whatever. Ty Conti and Anna Jay. And Anna Jay she's doing really well despite her obvious, physical detriments. Like she is. She is.
It's got to be hard to be that hot.
It's not a visual medium, but my face should say the tone.
Oh, my God. I mean, I'm not trying to put anybody off here, but she is attractive. I think I've said that before. Anyway.
It's almost like she could date, like, Luke Perry's son.
Is she hotter than Jenny Garth?
Oh, yeah.
Jenny
I was
Garth.
always
No, let's not be nostalgic. Let's not be nostalgic now. Let's not be nostalgic.
He might be too young.
Let's not be nostalgic now.
Maybe Jenny Garth. Jenny Garth
20 in her early 20s, hotter than Anna Jay.
I had a few Jenny Garth pictures on my wall.
Okay, fair enough.
I
ruined a couple of them.
I was a Tiffany Amber Thies and Shannon Doherty. I was into the brunettes.
So. Yes, Tiffany Amber Thies. Yes,
disgusting.
Yes, sir.
She was my first.
No, pre and post. She can get it both ways.
So they
oh my God, that's good. They go named Zach.
They go over Willow Nightingale and Ruby Soho. The Acclaim do their rap. I thought it was okay.
Well, oh my God, Jesus Christ!
I mean, it was okay. I mean, listen, I'm a fan of the Acclaim. I just thought it was okay.
Are you kidding me?
This rap single-handedly made Jeff Jarrett's TV time worth it.
Thank you. At least now I'm being entertained. Nothing that Jeff Jarrett has done since he's come to AEW has been anything close to entertaining. This was actually funny.
There was one good line. But
what? Which one?
You're stealing money like it's Kurt Angle's wife or whatever he said. I mean, that was pretty good. Oh, yeah. That's a pretty good line.
That's a St. Germain joke, I think, isn't it?
Okay. I have no idea.
For that one, totally worth it.
I'm 43. I'm done using new slang. I have no idea. I'm old. So then the Guns left. Ricky Starks cuts a promo. Do we want to say anything about this?
I just want to see the match.
Solidified his place. He solidified his place. Like, he deserves to be there.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Ricky Starks was good. That was a good promo. And then we had Samoa Joe versus Wardlow in a match that was the ending was predictable, but they caught me a couple times with a couple near falls where I thought Wardlow might fight through. It didn't work out. There was one point where Wardlow lifted Samoa Joe, and I was like, holy shit, that is... Because Samoa Joe looks like dead weight.
Stop.
I mean, I'm just saying he's fucking massive. He is fucking massive. And Wardlow lifted him up a couple times, gave him a power bomb. He gave him something else off the ropes. It was just impressive.
When you add all the bass from his entrance music, that's a heavy load.
I also loved how Samoa Joe...
Jesus Christ, here you go.
I also loved how Samoa Joe looked like he was waiting around to give Wardlow respect at the end and then just smashed him.
Of course.
And then decided to fuck him up. And then we had Darby Allin comes out. So what you think about this segment, Zach?
I thought it was good. It was a really good main event, and I'm very excited to see Darby versus Joe 2. I think it's especially cool because it's going to be in Seattle. I wish I had the time and the money and all that to go up to Seattle to watch Dynamite because it's relatively close to me, but I'm a single parent next week. My wife's flying to San Francisco, and so I will probably not be able to go to Rampage and Battle of the Belts in Portland because of that. But maybe. I'll look at the card.
Unprofessional bullshit.
I'll look at the card. If the card's good, I'll drop them off at my in-laws. And
I'll be back in a couple hours.
Now we're talking.
It's only it's $25. I mean, like,
That's not much.
But I am going to forego the Max Caster concert on Thursday so I can be on the podcast. So that's professional bullshit.
Okay, so you take it back. Take it back.
I mean, there's no way
Take
you
it
would
back.
go to that concert.
Take
right?
it back.
No, dude, it's less than 10 minutes from my house.
Take it back.
But you're going to go to a rap concert with Max Caster?
Take it back.
No,
Let me ask you this.
Like, yeah,
Listen.
I'm sure like Daddy Ass will be there. It'll be fun. It's probably like $20. Like,
Listen,
Take it back.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say. I'm a hip-hop fan. I am. I have seen several hip-hop shows. None of them were any good, except for Outkast. And I've seen Wu-Tang, my dudes, many times in a couple different iterations. And they're not good shows. It's just not a good show. You have to have a drummer for it to be a good show. They never have a drummer.
Okay, so let me get this straight.
I sound like Wheeler Yuta right now.
A little bit. A little bit.
Listen, you got to have a drummer if it's going to be good. Huh? Hey, Swerve, I'm not coming to your show.
Unless there's a drummer.
Is there going to be a drummer at the show?
You got a fucking drummer over there? or
I'm
what?
a rock and roll guy. But that being said, listen, Zach, you do with your money what you want to do, all right?
No, damn that. Drop the kids off, you go to Rampage. That's what you do.
Do we want to say anything else about this AEW card?
I feel like we missed them. No, you talked about the women's match. Okay, yep, that's it. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's the only thing I hate. One women's match, one women's show segment in 2 hours. That's
They need Sasha Banks.
It was a good match, but it wasn't.
Are we
It was a
still?
good match. It just wasn't exceptional.
Oh, are we still thinking that Sasha Banks is the mystery partner?
No, I am not.
No, because they're not hyping it at all.
Sasha Banks is going to be at Wrestle Kingdom.
Wrestle Kingdom is before this match where she has to come in and have to be the mystery partner.
Great segue.
1, 2, 3.
This
All right,
motherfucker.
hold on a second. What? She took a deal in Japan, didn't she? Yeah, she's in Japan. She's going to be in Wrestle Kingdom on January 4th. Mercedes, what's her name?
Verano?
No, but she has a different name, though. It's Mercedes.
Monet, Verano.
Mercedes Monet, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was going to say, I'm not sure which one you want me to throw up there, but I'm not sure if she's going to wrestle like we said last week. My knee-jerk reaction is I think she's going to pop up on the video board after the Tam Nakano Kyrie match, and then that's where we get things going with that.
All right, so for the 3 count, we are going to do our Wrestle Kingdom predictions because Wrestle Kingdom will be done before we do next week's podcast.
Yeah, boy.
Pretty crazy to think about.
Super Bowl of Super Bowls, baby.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to start off with the Super Junior belt, and we're going to say it's going to be Catch-22, which is Francisco Akira. And
No, I thought you were going a different way. Just I'll shut up. Do you think? Let me get a cigarette going, so I'll keep shutting the fuck
well,
up.
it's Francisco Akira and TJ Perkins versus Lee Yo, which is Yo and Leo Rush. So
Leo, that's their name?
I mean, that's what it says. That's what it says on
On
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia? Okay,
which is
fair enough.
LIYOH. So, the current champions are Catch-22,
Correct.
and I'm going to let Zach go first. Go ahead, Zach.
This is tough because it's not like a big focus. I'm gonna say I'll just go with my heart here and say a Leo. I feel like that's who I want to win, so that's what I'm going with. I'm just going with the heart.
Where are you going with?
I'm going with the head. Leo had a great run in the Super Junior tournament. However, I think this is the time, the place where the champs will retain. I'm going to take Catch-22 to retain the IWGP Junior Tag Team Championships.
I am also taking Catch-22 just because I think that Leo Rush is a little bit too unpredictable as a talent. And I also think that Catch-22 fucking rules.
True story.
So I'm going to go Catch-22 because when in doubt, take the reigning champs.
Really? That's how you do it?
That is not always. My rules change.
I know. I had to fuck with you on that one.
My rules change a lot.
They're fluid.
We are going to shut the fuck up, man.
It's a Stephen A. Smith joke. It's fluid.
We have Kyrie versus Tom Nakano. And that's not Tom like Tom Lawler. That's
No.
Tom like Tam Nakano. For the singles match for the IWGP Women's Championship, I will go here first. When in doubt, take the reigning champ. I will go with Kyrie. Who you have, Zach?
I'm going to go with Kyrie as well because I feel like this is where we get the Sasha kind of presence, and I feel like Sasha comes out to confront Kyrie.
Ditto, especially after the start of match this morning. Yeah, I would totally agree with Two Beer. It's going to be Kyrie versus Sasha Banks first, Utami coming in on the back end afterwards. But yeah, this is classic New Japan. The fact that we're kind of calling it before it actually happens means that we watched it enough to where now this is a setup to where you introduce Sasha Banks to the New Japan world. So I'm excited to see how they do it. But yeah, I agree with everybody on this one. Kyrie should go over.
All right, I'm going to go with another easy one here. Okay, we have Carl Anderson versus Tama Tonga. I am going to go Tama Tonga. If they keep this belt on Carl Anderson, I'll be shocked. Jason, who you got?
How can I follow up with that? I would agree with you on this one. Tama Tonga should be the guy. The only problem with this is he was the champ beforehand, and you took it off of him. Now you're going to make it the champ at Wrestle Kingdom, but neither here nor there. As long as Carl Anderson doesn't come away with this, that's all I ask. I mean, goddamn, let him go to WWE, get his next, 2, 3, 4 in-ground pools, whatever the case may be. But Tama Tonga should have been the Never Openweight Champion. It's another discussion for the Intercontinental Championship, but neither here nor there.
Two Beer, who you got?
Yeah, I got Tama Tonga. It'd be silly. I should be very, very surprised.
Are you in the bathroom?
Nope, I'm in my kitchen.
Oh, okay. All right. So coming up next for the inaugural.
What if he was in the bathroom? What if?
I wanted him to post a pic of his dick on Twitter.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So coming up next, we have for the inaugural NJPW World Television Championship, we have Zack Sabre Jr. versus Edgar Ren Narita.
Man, you some Chris Berman ass motherfucker.
I can't not do it every time. His name is Ren Narita.
Yes.
Ren
Put
Narita.
some respect on that man's
Edgar
name.
Ren Narita.
No.
Right.
There is no Edgar.
Jason, go ahead and talk about it for
Number
a minute.
one, there is no Edgar to it. It is Ren Narita. He has come back from Excursion. He's been one of the hot names, probably the hottest name that's come back in Excursion for the 2022 season. Now, that being said, he is facing the guy that I said weeks ago was arguably the best tournament wrestler that I've ever seen in my life in Zack Sabre Jr. I'm going to stick to my guns and not waver from my initial pick. Coming into it, I thought ZSJ was going to win it. It makes a little sense, especially if you're going to have this title travel from promotion to promotion. No disrespect to Ren Narita. I think he could be a champion at some later point. It's just probably not going to be the first IWGP World Television Champion. I'm going with Zack Sabre Jr. as the inaugural first IWGP World Television Champion.
Who you got, Zach?
I would say Zack Sabre Jr. because he has not held a singles title, which is bonkers. And I agree with Jason. He's the best tournament wrestler I've ever seen. But this thing was built for Ren Narita, and whenever this thing started and Ren Narita was against like Ishii in the first round, I said, give me Ren Narita or give me death. So I'm going with my initial pick from weeks and weeks ago. I'm sticking with it. I'm saying Ren Narita.
Look at you.
Fuck yes.
Look at you.
I love it.
Look at you.
I love the moxie.
Look at you.
All right. Next up, we have a 6-man.
Did you make a pick?
Oh, sorry. No, I didn't. I'm taking Zack Sabre Jr.
Okay,
like if Zack Sabre
motherfucker.
Jr. loses, I will be legit pissed off. I'll be
Really?
Like,
You gonna be mad?
I'll be like one of those nerds on wrestling Twitter that get mad when people lose.
You're gonna be mad if Zack Sabre Jr. loses this match.
No, I won't be mad. Because,
I'm like, God damn.
You know why? Because if he loses, he's gonna cut the funniest promo of all
ever.
time. I'm a big Zack Sabre Jr.
I'd say that backstage shit is gonna be on point.
All right. So, yeah, 6-pack. Or just tell him to get a 12-pack in that. So coming up next, we have a 6-man.
Somebody got a word tomorrow.
We got. It's gonna be an easy day. We got a 6-man tag team match between.
Must be.
I gotta admit, guys, I watch a lot of New Japan, and there's a person in this match that I don't know who the fuck he is, but it's LIJ, which is Naito, Sanada, and Bushi, versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. Know him?
Yep.
Shota Umino.
Oh no!
I know him.
No, don't say it. Don't say it.
Who the fuck is Kaiji Muto?
Oh Jesus!
Who is it?
I'm gonna go pee.
Who is it?
Two beer. School your boy.
No, just tell me who it is.
School your boy. Get your boy on this one.
Zach, who is it?
Who is it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Who's Kaiji Muto? He doesn't know either. Oh.
Is it Muto? Is it the Great Muta?
It's the Great Muta? Oh, that's a Great Muta? Kaiji
Yeah,
Muto?
Kaiji Muto. You said I thought you said Taichi.
It's a Kaiji Muto.
Yeah. Kaiji Muto is the Great Muta. Yeah.
Oh, well, see, now I just showed my ass. So who are you taking?
I mean...
Oh, it's his last match ever, right?
No, it's not his last match ever. It's not even his last match in the Tokyo Dome. So it's going to be LIJ because he's got a match in Tokyo Dome in February. He's got a match at Budokan against Shinsuke Nakamura in a couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's
or
right.
Next week.
So why does it say Kaiji Muto? Why doesn't it say the Great Muta?
Because he's Kaiji Muto now. He's not the Great Muta anymore. He doesn't have like the face paint and he still does the mist and stuff, but he's not the Great Muta anymore.
Well, that's fine. You're taking LIJ. I'm taking his team because I just showed my ass. I didn't know what his name was. I was like, how have I never heard of this guy? If it would say Great Muta, I would have known who the fuck it was.
We played that card already, but neither here nor there.
Who are you taking? I'm pissed off.
Don't be pissed off.
Worked.
Well, first and foremost, I'm glad that Naito was on the card, and the fact that he has this match with Keiji Muto. Apparently, that is his dream match. The guy that he idolizes, the reason why he's a wrestler. All that being said, I would be really, really stunned. And this is not, obviously, I'm a Naito mark. There's no question about it. I would be stunned if LIJ wins this match. I'm going to take the Keiji Muto team to win this match. If you're going to go out with Great Muta with his last match, Keiji Muto should be the same way, both ways, check marks on both ways. I got the Keiji Muto team.
All right, we got 4 matches left.
Yep.
And they're 4 big ones. I'm going to let you go first. No, you know what? I'll go first on this one because I have the pencil. So this is a 4-way match for the junior
heavyweight championship.
Yeah, the junior heavyweight championship. We have Ishimori versus Despy versus Hiromu Takahashi versus Master Wado. Okay, I'm taking Wado last. Fuck you, you fucking idiot. I'll take Despy next. No. No, I'll take Ishimori next. As least. I will take second to least to be Despy. And I'll take the most likely to be Hiromu. Go ahead, Jason.
Oof, interesting. I'll agree with you with Master Wato as the least likely to win.
Nah, he's a buster.
No, he's not a buster. I just think that the long term, Master Wato is another year or 2 years down the line.
He's the Wheeler Utah.
Stop. Jesus Christ. Next up, I'm going to go Hiromu as the third likely least to win.
I know Hiromu, huh?
Yeah, I don't think he needs this. Hiromu is set. In some scenario in 2023, he will be back in the junior title picture. I'm going to go Despy at 2. I love me some Despy. I think he's going to be another amazing part with the guy that I think is going to be on deck. Ishimori, I think, ultimately retains because at the end of the day, it was supposed to be Ishimori was supposed to wrestle Kushida, and Kushida got sick. I think all of this is going to come back around to where you get this initial match where Kushida wrestles Ishimori. He was chasing him all the way down in those prelim matches. If you watch New Japan like I do, he was chasing him down. And Ishimori, look, and I could easily be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right, but this is why I'm saying that Ishimori retains, because Kushida chased Ishimori down until he got sick and couldn't be on this card. That's why I think you got this fucking fatal 4-way.
I'll tell you what, I'm about to be sick.
Look, be sick. I'm taking Ishimori to retain.
Zach, who you got?
New Japan must be struggling if Jason's the only New Japan World subscriber in the United States.
Hey, you know that ain't true.
I'm going to go with Master Wato last.
Buster.
And I'll go.
Buster Wato.
I'll go with Buster Wato.
Man, I almost spit that shit on you, dog.
Sorry, Zach. Who you got next?
El Desperado after that. And then Taiji Ishimori. And then Hiromu.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, so now we got 3 really big ones up. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start with the tag team match, which is FTR versus, what are they called? Bishamon? So, which is Goto and Yoshihashi. One of the best tag teams of the year, of the last 5 years. It's been a stacked tag team year.
Yeah,
but,
right.
I will go first here. So, FTR has dropped 2 of their 3 belts. Right?
And you looked at me crazy when I said that. No. We can go back on the archives. I said it a couple weeks ago, and I even
No, I said they're going to have to lose one at a time. I said it's going to start happening. I said they're going to lose one at a time. I think we agreed on this.
No, we didn't. We didn't.
Okay, so the story is that FTR has lost the AAA belts and the Ring of Honor belts.
Check.
In the last couple months.
Check.
In the last probably 6 weeks.
Check.
4 weeks.
Check.
So the only. Are you gonna say check again?
No, I'm waiting for you to say something,
right, don't say check it.
Okay.
So now FTR only has 1 belt left.
Check.
And it's the IWGP belts. Now,
way ahead of you, Ham.
Yoshihashi and Goto are both veterans. They've both been around. They've both been the G1 for the last several years. They are a respected tag team. FTR has been the hottest tag team in 2022 since the beginning of the year. They've had a unbelievable trio of matches versus the Briscoe brothers that will be brought up in 2 weeks. Programming note, in 2 weeks we're going to have our Beefer Awards. Next week is going to be our Wrestle Kingdom review plus the John Cena return review. but we didn't want to do the beefers next week because we thought there might be too much stuff to talk about, and I can't do a 3.5-hour podcast. So we are splitting it up into 2. So 2 weeks from now will be the beefers, and we're going to have some fun stuff on social media for you guys to participate, yeah. That being said, FTR versus Bishamon, I just can't see FTR losing every belt unless that's the story they're telling, which is probably that's the story they're telling. I am going to go Bishamon. Jason.
The fact that you have now joined on to my bandwagon is a little disappointing,
You're a smart guy.
But nonetheless,
You're a smart guy.
I'm gonna scoot some room over for you. This is my partner. Scoot on over.
Thank you. Oh, this is your boy?
This is my boy. Scoot on over.
That's Kevin Hart saying 40-year-old virgin. He's like, now you both got
I am taking Goto and Yoshihashi to. Now this is a slam dunk.
I wish I wouldn't have done it.
I said it before they dropped the AAA championship. I said this was a possibility because
it's the story FTR is telling.
Yeah, it's not even about Goto and Yoshihashi.
Yeah. No,
it's about FTR.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And now at this point, it makes total sense. From this point on, if you want to fill in the blank team, the United Empire team, or somebody else in, you can do that. But this is where FTR drops the tiles.
Zach, who you got?
If FTR hadn't dropped all these belts, I would not think to say this because I would inevitably want the eventual Aussie Open versus FTR for these belts. But they keep dropping these belts, and I think 2023 is going to be a different kind of year for FTR. They've talked about going fully independent, and I just see this being another one of the dominoes. So give it to Goto and Yoshihashi.
There's no way they could make more money going fully independent than working for.
Oh shit! I totally disagree.
No.
I think they can make crazy cash.
If they ask
they can
Tony
make
Khan,
good money, but not more money. Money, but not more money.
But wouldn't you rather have, like, if they went to Tony Khan, they were like, hey, we want, I don't know how much money they make, but if they were like, hey, we want twice as much money as we're making right now. And then you have a schedule, and then you don't have to book your own shit.
I don't think that's important to them. I think that they think that they can do the independents for a year and be hotter still, and then maybe go back.
And then come back.
They had great success under Triple H.
That might be a risky bet, but it might be a good one too.
I don't think it's risky anymore.
They're just betting on themselves.
Yep.
And I think that there's I would not be surprised to see them WWE 2024.
To me, and I said it last week, to me it's like Sasha Banks, and I'll just keep bringing it up, but to me now this is relevant. She's going to go around and do this other shit and build her stock up.
I wouldn't be
surprised
if Paul Levesque didn't tell her to do that.
I don't think. Maybe he did. But ultimately, if she comes back and he has to cash the check, then Sasha wins. Cody Rhodes.
We're taking Zach's time. Zach was telling us who was going to win out of FTR versus Bishamon, and he never told us who.
Ishiman.
There we go. I can't believe that is a fucking clean sweep out of us three.
We're
like those old couples that start looking like each other.
I know. I said it weeks ago.
All right.
And now everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. Move over. Zach's here. Scoot over.
Only 2 matches left, and they are, absolute.
These are the 2.
I watched 2 matches today from last year's Wrestle Kingdom because I'm trying to get ready for the Beavers. And I watched Hiromu versus Ishimori. Hiromu versus El Despy. And then I watched Okada versus Shingo. And I'm telling you, match of the year is going to be a weird one this year because I still don't know who I'm picking.
I got a couple
Okada wrestled Ospreay last Wrestle Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
No, he wrestled both. He wrestled one on Saturday night.
Yeah, and then one the other. Yeah, it's the
Right.
last. Well, maybe the last two nights of Wrestle Kingdom.
I'm going to watch that one next time.
That's funny. That's funny that the Okada Ospreay match completely overshadowed Okada Shingo, considering Shingo is my boy.
It was 30. I just watched it today. It was 36 minutes. It's
unbelievable.
It's unreal.
It's
like how quickly we forget about it.
Yes.
Like, we're going to talk about shit like Sheamus versus Gunther and shit like that. And we're going to be like, man, that was match of the year. A lot of recency
biases will come up.
Well,
but
it's because Wrestle Kingdom
is the first, 4 days of the year.
360 days away from when we do the beefers.
No, I agree. Good. Trust. Right. I get it.
We're going to have to split them up by promotion again. We're just going to have to do that.
Zach is coming up next. We have Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega at the Tokyo Dome for Wrestle Kingdom 17. Not even the main event.
No.
Who do you have, Zach?
It's not the main event, but it is the main event, because this is why, if this thing wasn't just 999 yen, I would pay whatever, like $75-$100. I'd pay for it. They're missing the boat on this, and I don't want them to change because, selfishly, but I would 100% pay $100 to watch this thing live. That's how much I want to see this match.
Who are you taking? And why?
This is Will Ospreay. This is a passing of the torch match, and I'm not saying it's the last one, but this is 100% a passing of the torch. Will Ospreay is that dude. He is the Gaijin, and it doesn't cost Kenny Omega anything to put this guy over. He's younger. He is the new Kenny in a variety of ways, and I am so excited to see what these guys come up with. They've been working this thing for so long, and oh my god, I'm so thrilled. This is I
got mine.
I'm calling it now. It's gonna be one of the matches of the year. January 4th, we're gonna have a match of the year candidate, no doubt.
We have it all the time. We just sometimes we forget it. This is a match that I'm looking forward to, no question about it. For me, and I think, everybody's like, this is not the main event. No, it's not the main event. It's for the U.S. title, okay? There's another match behind it.
I even forgot there was a title on the line.
Yeah. It's for the U.S. title.
I just want to see him.
We all do.
It's a dream match. A legit dream match.
Without question.
So who are you taking? I feel like you're filibustering.
To me, this is easy speasy, lemon squeezy. This is Will Ospreay every day, twice on Sunday. It's not a knock against Kenny Omega. We know what he can do. I know what he can do. But for me,
I'm going the opposite way.
No, that's fine.
I'm going Omega. And the reason I'm going Omega is because I think that they're not just going to do this as a one-off. They will do it as a trilogy, probably. There's too much money to be made to have this be Ospreay goes over, Omega's done, and now Ospreay's the heir apparent.
Okay,
Hold on.
You cut me off, but go ahead. I'll let you finish.
What I was going to say was, I'll let you finish.
No, please. No, please. No, this is your house. This is Sidney Dean. I will allow you the hospitality of your house to finish your thought.
Well, I smoked your weed. Do you think I remember what I was going to say?
Okay, well then my point was this. Sometimes you have to give guys a little love, a little credit for doing things that you don't want to do. Will Ospreay is one of those guys that is like Zack Sabre Jr. He stayed in the fucking pandemic, and he got New Japan through a really dark time where people weren't chanting and people weren't talking about the U.S. Championship, to now this is arguably, and you guys were talking about it, this should be the main event, and we're not even talking about the U.S. title. We're talking about these two guys, okay? Will Ospreay needs to have more credit on his name to getting New Japan through this fucking pandemic. It's always about Okada. I love me some Naito, and that's always the case. But in this scenario, It's about Will Ospreay. Kenny Omega can come back at any time he wants to, and he just did. He's going to come back, and he's going to take the L. It's about Will Ospreay. Period.
So we got one Omega, two Ospreys, and then we're talking about the main event, which is your current IWGP Heavyweight Champion Jay White versus the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. I have no idea what to think here. Let me think about it for a second. Like, I've been thinking about this one all day.
You want me to talk about it?
No, let me go first. I'm going to go Okada. I have no reason why. Zach, go ahead.
You have no reason why.
I think Japan has done a great disservice to Jay White. I don't mean New Japan. I just think Japan, because Jay White is such a crowd-oriented character, and even Okada suffers in a silent crowd. Like, Okada almost requires a loud crowd.
They also hate New Zealanders.
What the fuck? Where the fuck that come from?
So,
Jesus
I think
Christ.
that there's been a little bit of Jay White is great. He's one of the best in the business. No lie. But I think that his reign has suffered. I think that it's time for something fresh. And I think that they're going to go with a pat hand, even though Jay White is so great. If you're doing an American expansion, what do? You put the belt on your ace, and Okada is that ace. And especially if you're going into something like a Forbidden Door, I think Okada carries this thing in, and then maybe you do Omega Okada 5 with Kenny with Okada as the champion as your big match. Get some real deal pay-per-view buys.
Fucking who? Oh, so you're taking Okada?
Okada.
Okay, see, this is the one I was like, all right, I already have it set. I'm not even going to fucking waver. And then you started to talk, and now I'm wavering. Okada is the safe bet. It's a smart bet. It's not even a knock against Jay White. It's not. I agree with everything you said. Jay White is an amazing fucking heel. He's an amazing fucking champion. He has suffered because you just don't have the New Japan fans able to cheer, but you have them able to cheer now. So does that make a difference? You lost Jonah.
You know what? I'll keep going.
No.
How about Jay White versus MJF at Forbidden Door?
Motherfucker. Okay, all right. All right. Here we go. I'm gonna stick with Okada. You motherfucker. I hate you right now. I'm gonna stick with Okada.
So we all took Okada?
I'm taking it. No, I said it on this point, and I'm gonna just stick to this point. God, I hate you.
Motherfuckers are so boring.
Man, that.
We're all so boring. God damn, there's just nothing.
I wouldn't be surprised, and I would love to see Jay White retain. I would love to see it. My knee-jerk reaction is the fact that Okada is back. He's won the G1. It feels like a title change is in play. Gato is partial to both.
Listen, no matter what happens, there's going to be 2 Match of the Year candidates on January 4th.
One for sure.
I mean, yeah.
Okada and Jay White is the one that could be the second. I expect everything from Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega. When I say everything, I mean anything.
I got my eye on Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ren Narita. Edgar Rennerita.
Edgar Rennerita is going to get himself over. It's just how we get from point A to point B. Shota Umino should be one of those guys to look out for as well.
Wrestling, right?
Wait a minute. Hang on. Go ahead, hit. Go
That's
ahead,
gotta do
hit
it for
that.
our 3 count.
1, 2, 3.
Are you going to do a band from Ringside, or we just going to talk about just intermittently talk about Vikingo?
This is banned from Ringside.
Your new love for Vikingo now. Okay,
Well,
so
I mean,
like
I've always said.
No.
Listen, I made fun of him. Listen, I made fun of him when I'd never seen him before, and now that I've seen him, he's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. He's obviously unbelievable. He looks like Maynard James Keenan sat in a tanning booth for 10 hours, came out, and all of a sudden came out of Cirque du Soleil or something.
You know,
The guy fucking rules.
you know,
It's unbelievable. He's fucking unbelievable.
You gave me so much shit about this, and that's what.
come
No, you were like, "Who the fuck is Vikingo?
No.
Who the fuck is Vikingo?"
that wasn't
no,
you.
that was you. That was you.
On the PWI. That was on the PWI.
That was. Say that again.
Ham saying that's the last time he said it.
Okay, and you ripped me a new.
No, I didn't rip you. It was
Yes, you
PWI
did.
because I was
No.
like, you guys were like, oh yeah, Vikingo rules. Vikingo rules.
I was like, okay, yeah. I co-signed
I
on
said
it.
he's a guy that's never been mentioned on this podcast.
And
I was
you
like,
lost your
I
shit.
was like, it's 600 hours of content, and all we talk about is wrestling. And this guy's never been mentioned.
He has.
This guy sucks.
Probably at least
and,
at
then
one time.
and then I watched him versus Ray Fenix at the AAA Mania, and my soul left my body. It was unbelievable.
Okay.
I was like, holy shit.
I'm
this
not
guy's-
crazy.
No.
The week that we were talking about, I was
Hold on.
like, you were like, name somebody he wrestled. I was like, Andrade. I was like, is that right? And
Okay.
I didn't want to say it because
Let's-
I didn't want to be wrong.
let's do
And
this
I
right
should have
now.
been right.
Let's do this right now. Let's talk about this on air because we've talked about it via text. But
Motherfucker.
if anybody's listening still, they're going to want to know this. So we're going to do the beefers this year. in
Beefers.
2 weeks.
2
Now-
weeks.
Now, what we usually do is we all come in with our own beefer.
Correct.
And then we talk about like
Hey.
runners up and stuff.
Hey.
Yes.
AKA the Vikingo Award.
Yeah, the Vikingo Award. That's exactly right.
Hang on. Somebody's coming in.
This
Yep,
is
never mind.
Vikingo. So what we're going to do is we're going to nominate us three.
Okay, yeah, because I
Zach-
want to hear this shit on air.
Zach, Jason, and I are going to nominate 3 options for each category.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is we're going to put them up on Twitter
Okay.
for 7 days, and we're
Okay.
going to let the people vote on it.
So
We're coming up with the candidates.
and
we're
the
putting it.
and the beefers are going to
The
be
beavers are going to be ours, but we're going to see how the people vote against us.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
it's majority rule. If it
So
comes down to 1 to 1 to 1, like if we have a disagreement about the match of the year and each one of us takes one match, then the people's vote will decide it. So who
But
gets
here's the thing.
beefer? So
Only land owning white males can vote on the poll.
that is true. That is a bummer for you, Jason.
This motherfucker.
Yeah,
here.
That is a bummer.
I
for
don't
you.
make the rules. That's Elon Musk.
This
Yeah.
motherfucker
It is-
here.
That's right. It's.
I mean,
land-
God forbid if I do
landowning
all the
whites.
legwork, hit the retweet button. Let's go ahead and figure out where this shit stops. Let's see where this shit starts. And then all of a sudden, now,
you know-
after all the legwork, go ahead, boss. That's
so
you.
I'm excluded. I don't own land. I'm excluded. I don't make the rules.
Well, no, I understand you don't know. You don't. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, so we don't. I know you don't own land. I know you don't. See, this is all like news to me. I heard this is what we wanted to do. Now this is news. Okay, so. Yeah. Okay. So now I can still vote for what I want to do. All right. That's fair.
Yeah,
Totally
it's still
fair.
Our award. It's just we want to see what other
Well,
people
people-
thought compared to us.
Look. Okay. So then there has to be like because I'm the guy that's going to end up doing this shit. By the way, so that's why I'm over thinking this shit to myself. There's going to have to be an other box. The other box is for the 3 of us vote for 1, 2, 3, and now I'm gonna have to start thinking about other shit. By the way, the other box is for the fan vote. So the other box is for the fan vote, just in case, for whatever reason, if you don't agree with us for match of the year. Zach will have one, and I don't think we should we'll probably end up knowing who votes for what because we'll announce it. But neither here nor there. I'm not gonna put it on Twitter that, this is your shit, this is your shit, this is your shit, because we already have it. But then I'll have that open box for others should get votes.
We're gonna nominate 3, and then those are our nominations, and then folks will vote, and it's just like a tiebreaker thing, or it's just an interest thing. We're just interested to see what other people think.
Okay, that's where I'm missing. Is the fan vote the tiebreaker?
Yeah, or we each have one, and we might even have like the same ones. We'll just have to collaborate on it. But it's just like a thing to get folks involved. That's all. This is a very compelling pod. We can talk about it afterwards.
Well, I was going to say, this shit dropped into me. I'm like, look, I get it. Look, I have no problem with others voting in for the beefers for 2022. By all means, it should be interactive. Now, that being said, if they're going to be tiebreakers in this shit, I'm going to need you guys to start stepping up to the plate and watching a little New Japan and watching a little Stardom. That's all I'm saying. You might be missing some shit. Neither here nor there. No,
I'm not buying the times. A little bit of a Stardom, but I've watched the big shows.
Did you see
talk about them on the pod?
Did you see the 29th show? Oh, well, I shouldn't say the 29th show because it is the 29th, and that was this morning. Did you see this morning's show from Stardom?
No, I haven't watched the Dream shows yet. So.
Sherry.
I'll get there.
Sherry. Julia.
She won?
No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying,
okay.
That's where you need to start.
I'm predicting a title change. I haven't seen anything, but I'm predicting Julia.
Tubi, you know me better than that. I'm not the guy that's going to tell you, what the fuck happened or anything like that. I'm just going to say, if you have a press for time.
Yeah, this is what we've been building towards all year.
Okay,
so I'm excited about it.
All right, and that's all I'm going to say. Start with that. Prominence and Ode Otai had a nice little triple threat for the artist titles, hardcore rules. Something to look for that. And Mina Sharapova, had a little swerve. Outside of that, I'm done. All right, go ahead, boss. I'm done.
All right, we good to go?
Yep. We have been busting for a hot minute.
We don't have very many birthdays this week. Danny Birch is 41. Ray Fenix,
still alive,
32. Justin Roberts, 43 is my age. Canyon, who better than Canyon?
Nobody, baby.
52.
Nobody.
R.I.P. Jim Ross is 70, and Jimmy Hart, the mouth of the South, is 48.
What?
Hall of Famer.
No, 78. Sorry.
I'm like, man, he is not younger than me. There's no way.
Hey, everybody. We know there's tons of podcasts to listen to, so we appreciate you guys listening to our podcast. For Tender Mahal.
Check.
For Murray the Murray Man Murray.
Check.
For Patriot Pat.
Check.
For the Sideways in Time podcast. For
check.
Kevin Hamilton. Happy
check.
birthday.
Check.
And,
double check.
For the dog, for the cats,
check.
for the
check.
kid, for the
check.
baby,
check.
for Two Beer Zach Coleman,
check.
for Jason Cornelius Bell.
Get these
for
wide
Bryce.
bitches.
Hey, I am Bill Vagey.
Check.
We'll see you next week. And Boo the Heels.
Yeah, we ain't getting away that easy. Selfishly, I would love 2 nights of Wrestle Kingdom, but if it ain't, I don't want them to force it either. When they did it the first couple of times, it made sense. Okay, you had double champions. You were combining the IC and the heavyweight titles. Totally makes sense, and I get it. Now I don't think you need it at this point. 4 or 5 hour shows should be more than enough for me to get my rocks off and go back to sleep, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, I could probably come like 7 times in that.
That Omega
4 or 5 hours. So.
That Omega Ospreay match is going to be.
It's going to be match of the year candidate for
2023. Yeah, I was going to say 4 days in. I love New Japan for that shit. They put Wrestle Kingdom right there and be like, you know what? Don't forget about us. And when it comes to beefers time. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that a lot. And 2023 should be really, really interesting in the world of wrestling, New Japan and otherwise.
This is Banned from Ringside.
Okay, on that lovely note, I think it's time to part to the Ferrari. It's time to bid you jokers adieu. Just one quick thought. My go-home thought is just about the Christmas season, and just be kind to others, man. Okay, this is a time where you don't know what the next person is going through. You don't know how the next person might struggle. Okay, I just kind of found out that a friend of mine was going through a little bit of a depression. And it kind of surprised me because I always thought that this person was very upbeat, very chipper. And to hear the word depression come out of his mouth was a little bit of a shocker. So please, in the spirit of Christmas, in the spirit of humanity, check on your peeps, okay? Like I said, you don't know what's going on. Some people are like me and hide everything in, be like, I'm okay. And other people just, dump their shit out like it's the Breakfast Club and here's my purse, take a look at it. Either way, check on your peeps. Make sure they're good. Make sure they get through the Christmas season. And let's all get to 2023 and watch some amazing fucking wrestling.
Rabbit fever.
Well, everybody, I know there's plenty of podcasts to listen to, so we appreciate you listening to ours. For Patriot Pat, for Bo, for I'm not going to say Sideways in Time, but I will say for Lucha Chris, for Joey O'Farrell, for my cats. They are getting awfully quiet, so I'm going to have to go find them. For Two Beers, Zach Pullman. For Bill Vagey, I'm your impromptu guest special host, JCB, Jason Cornelius Bell. And everybody, don't forget, Black Lives Matter. Support your local drug dealers. And everybody, boo the heels. Merry Christmas, bitches! It's all one word.